Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headache stack. Restlessness to hell and back.
What happened after you submitted the document? You absolute piece of junk. The era of tiny foldables is over, and simply making folding phones bigger isn't enough anymore. Right before the Snapdragon 8 Gen 6 launch, Vivo introduced the X Fold 6, and this time the spotlight is clearly on productivity and multitasking. Split-screen features and office-focused functions take center stage, and honestly, it feels like we're finally getting a glimpse of the vision Luo Yonghao once had with TNT.
A quick shout to my tech partner from China for sharing this video. A big thank you for making this possible. Hey everyone, it's Maiky from techmaiky. If you love staying updated with the latest gadgets, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out our exciting tech content.
The phone comes in a deep ocean blue gradient finish that's instantly recognizable. Vivo has always been great at creating eye-catching blue color options, and this one is no exception. The blue hole version weighs 235 grams, while the other two color variants come in at 228 grams. Considering it's a foldable, the thickness is quite reasonable. The corners are more rounded than before, making the phone feel more secure and comfortable in the hand. Combined with the 2.5D metal frame and smooth curved edges, the overall grip is excellent, with virtually no sharp edges or discomfort. That said, there's one design choice I really have to criticize: the camera module. Yes, the phone itself is impressively slim when unfolded, but the oversized camera bump makes it extremely top-heavy. It's especially annoying if you place the phone flat on a table to play games, because the wobble makes the experience frustrating. Moving on to the displays, the X Fold 6 uses two panels supplied by different manufacturers. Vivo has matched the pixel density between the inner and outer screens, so switching between them feels very consistent. Both screens also support 120 Hz refresh rate for smooth animations. Although Vivo says both screens offer the same quality, on my review unit there was a slight difference. The outer display leaned a bit toward blue tones, while the inner display looked slightly warmer with a yellow tint. This is easiest to notice on a white background, but during normal, everyday use you'll probably never spot it unless you're intentionally comparing the two. Another thing worth mentioning is the factory-installed screen protector. Unfortunately, it attracts fingerprints and smudges very easily. This is particularly important because foldable phones rely on their pre-installed inner screen protector. If it gets damaged, replacing it with the same factory-level quality isn't something you, or even most professional installers, can easily do. As for the crease, honestly, it's not something that bothers me much. During regular use, I barely notice it. However, speaking objectively, the X Fold 6 doesn't control the crease as well as this year's competing N9. Under certain lighting and viewing angles, the crease is still visible. If that's something you care about, I definitely recommend checking the phone out in person before making a decision. When it comes to charging and battery life, the results are impressive. Charging from 1% to 100% took around 54 minutes in my testing, which is a solid performance considering the massive 7,000 mAh battery. The phone also supports Global Direct Drive Power Supply 2.0, helping reduce heat buildup while gaming and charging at the same time. Of course, if you're pushing the device by running 4 apps simultaneously, especially with demanding tasks like gaming while live streaming, battery drain becomes much more noticeable. A large display and heavy multitasking naturally consume more power. Looking at the hardware, the X Fold 6 is powered by the Dimensity 9500 Super Edition. This special version focuses on improving multitasking performance, multi-threaded workloads, and smoother rendering when using multiple windows. Even so, I do have a couple of complaints about gaming. The first issue is heat. Even while testing in an air-conditioned room at around 26 degrees Celsius during summer, the phone became noticeably warm across several games. This could certainly improve with future software updates, but right now, thermal performance is something that needs attention. The second issue is the grip during gaming. Foldable phones aren't particularly comfortable to hold with both hands, so you'll naturally use them in landscape mode. The problem is that the huge camera module gets in the way. Depending on how you hold the phone, either your left index and middle fingers or your right ring and little fingers end up resting against the camera bump, making long gaming sessions less comfortable. Now let's talk about the cameras. The main camera has been upgraded to a 200-megapixel sensor with a larger sensor size than before. While shooting at the full 200-megapixel resolution isn't something you'll do every day, the camera performs very well across its 4 primary focal lengths. Both cameras can also capture 50-megapixel photos, delivering a noticeable improvement in detail and sharpness. Starting with portrait photography, the 3x telephoto lens at 50 megapixels produces brighter skin tones with a subtle pink tint. Fine details like clothing textures, accessories, and necklaces appear much clearer than before. Low light performance is also solid. I captured photos inside an underground parking garage, and shadow noise was handled very well. Dark areas remained deep without losing detail, bright highlights stayed under control, and the overall balance between light and shadow looked natural. For ultra-wide photography, I shot several city buildings. The camera preserved the blue sky gradients beautifully, maintained realistic reflections on glass-covered buildings, and kept architectural lines crisp and well-defined. The 50-megapixel ZEISS ultra-wide camera also does an excellent job minimizing distortion around the edges, resulting in cleaner and more natural-looking wide-angle shots.
When it comes to macro photography, the X Fold 6 delivers some impressive results. Close-up shots of outdoor plants capture the tiny hairs on the leaves and the fine detail of the leaf veins with excellent clarity. I also tested it on a keyboard, and the camera reproduced the lettering and surface texture very accurately. Since both the ultra-wide and telephoto cameras support macro mode, it's more than capable of handling everyday close-up shots of flowers, plants, and other small objects. For video recording, you can judge the footage for yourself. One thing that stands out is the rolling shutter effect, which is fairly noticeable during movement. Color reproduction is another area that isn't completely accurate, as the recorded colors don't always match what I saw with my own eyes. Now let's move on to what I think is the biggest highlight of this phone: the software and its exclusive foldable features. Vivo built this operating system specifically with foldable devices in mind from the very beginning. The focus is on 2 main goals: making multitasking much more efficient on a single display and turning the phone into a true productivity device. Let's start with the split-screen experience. There are 2 different modes available. The first is the familiar serial mode, also known as Workbench. Here, you get one primary app alongside 4 supporting tasks that remain active at the same time. It's designed for users who constantly switch between different workflows, manage multiple categories, or need quick front-end scheduling. The second option is the brand new Parallel mode, which is essentially an advanced multi-window system. It allows up to 4 different applications to share the screen simultaneously, and the size of each window can be adjusted freely based on your needs. There are 3 different ways to activate Parallel mode. You can swipe up with 3 fingers while using Workbench, quickly fold an application into the layout, or simply add apps one by one directly from the home screen. The biggest improvement this time is the flexible resizing system. Instead of fixed layouts, you can freely stretch every window and adjust the size of all 4 apps however you like. Another standout feature is cross-app drag and drop, which Vivo refers to as the one drag experience. With one drag to table, you can drag information directly into apps like WPS or Notes, and the system automatically recognizes table data and converts it into an editable spreadsheet, so there's no need to type everything manually. Then there's one drag to text. Simply drag an image containing text into a supported app, and the built-in OCR instantly extracts editable text without any extra steps. After using the phone for the past 2 weeks, the feature I relied on the most was split-screen multitasking for monitoring the overall market. Being able to keep everything visible on one display without constantly switching between apps noticeably improved my workflow and productivity. I even experimented with running 4 games at the same time, and surprisingly, they all launched and displayed simultaneously. That said, there are still a few issues. After playing for a while, one of the games would occasionally freeze, although tapping the screen a few times usually brought it back to normal. This seems to be related to how the current software manages resources for background applications, so hopefully future OTA updates will improve the experience. There are also 2 areas where the split-screen system could be refined. The first is accessibility. There are simply too many different ways to enter split-screen mode. Whether it's using the home screen, the 3-finger gesture, or other methods, it takes some time to learn, even for experienced users like me.
The second issue is battery consumption. Running 4 applications at the same time is incredibly useful, but naturally it puts a heavier load on the battery. As for pricing, the base version of the Vivo X Fold 6 starts at 7,999 yuan in China, which works out to roughly £889 in the UK, or around $1,177 in the United States. Overall, I think the launch timing is a little unfortunate. If Vivo had released this phone before Apple's foldable iPhone arrives, it might have attracted even more attention in the market. With the Snapdragon 8 Gen 6 launch just around the corner, the timing feels a bit awkward. Of course, that's simply my personal opinion. So, what do you think about the Vivo X Fold 6? Personally, I don't believe a single standout feature is enough anymore. A foldable phone should focus on strengthening its core productivity experience. Vivo seems to have reached the same conclusion by building a much more capable multitasking and office-focused system. Instead of relying on just one headline feature, the goal is to improve the phone's overall capabilities and create a stronger all-around experience. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. Let me know your thoughts about the Vivo X Fold 6 down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!